Hi, guys. Welcome back to Just Jaysa, where we really dive into womanhood, mental health. We have real conversations based on real experiences with alignment, with our wisdom, with our journeys, all the things that have to do with us getting from point A to point B in our journeys. Okay. If you're new, that was for you. If you are returning, you already know most of the time I'm going to be as transparent as possible. And that is going to be with me saying, oh my gosh, it has been a crazy week. Okay. I'm doing my best to make sure that we have the episodes that we need to be successful this year. So, without further ado, let's kick off this month's episode. The theme of this month is going to be lifestyle. We are going to be talking about different things as it pertains to establishing our lifestyle, figuring out how we are going to be better and more successful instead of jumping on these trends of New Year, New Me, New Year's resolutions, all these things. The goal is really going to be making sure we can execute. 2024, we love to say it was the year of exposure. 2025, we need to be executing, right? We got rid of all the baggage, we got rid of all the toxicity. How are we going to make sure that we are moving through our journey instead of just talking about it? This episode is developing a new mental balance. Okay, so we're going to talk about different things within that. I'm going to share a little wisdom of myself, and I hope to end it with a little story. Okay, and of course, if you haven't seen the other videos where I'm talking about like the changes that have been made to Just Jaysa, please make sure you touch in on that video. It is on the actual main page of the channel, so you can watch that and just get a little debrief. If you don't know by now, my name is Jaysa, and this is Just Jaysa. Let's jump into the
Girls like me, I like a magnet to a knife. Can I the light up from the ocean? I send them my devotion.
All right, guys. So, the main purpose of this episode is really to get that base level. Okay, what are we trying to do? How are we going to do it? What is it going to look like from point A to point B? Because most of the times we like to think that it's just set a goal and get there. Hell no, because then when we run into those challenges, we look crazy. So, the whole purpose of this episode is going to be able to equip us with the things that we need in order to really accomplish our goals. I have goals of my own that I hope to share with you guys, such as this stomach that is popping out this shirt. Okay, that's just being real. If you are new here, I am Jaysa. I said this in my intro, but I want to make sure I reiterate because this is a new year. This is the opportunity for me to really jump back into things and not look crazy because I keep falling off. Season 5, guys. Season 5 of Just Jaysa. Last year we launched Contrary to the Culture, so season 2 will be coming here in July. So definitely make sure that you have subscribed, catch up on the past episodes, do all the things, share, follow, comment, like everything. Because the goal is to be bigger and better this year, is to make sure that we execute a full calendar for Audacity of Women. Okay, brief intermission before we jump into the episode. What is Audacity of Women? That is my baby. That is my brand. That is where everything podcast related, masterclass related, partnerships, everything is under Audacity of Women. I will make sure I put the website in the description box so you guys can go explore that. We are back up, right? We were off for a minute. We were down trying to figure our lives out, but we're back. So definitely make sure you go explore. We are happy to welcome a few new team members, so that is amazing. Go show them some love as well. But with that being said, as I mentioned in the intro, this month we are talking about everything lifestyle. So this episode is developing a new mental balance. The next episode is going to be living in the moment. And my goal with hope and prayer is to have an amazing guest come on to talk about stages of emotional development with me. How does that tie into lifestyle? How does that tie into establishing, resolutions and routines and all these things? Trust me, it does, right? If you know anything about trying to establish your goal, you know emotional regulation is huge because most of the times we are so caught up in either starting a routine or a goal or trying to establish some type of dream based on how we feel because we were either hurt or we are insecure, or we're going through some type of midlife crisis that we feel the need to start something new, right? Or we stop because there's so much going on and there's something that is just keeping us from being great. So many things. Doesn't always have to be negative, but most of the time That's the general consensus. So, those are our episodes for January. So, definitely make sure that you check those out. One of the big changes that I did mention in my welcome back video that's on the homepage is that we will be moving to every other Thursday. I know my limits. I know that in the past I have tried my best to do every Thursday or every week. Can't do it. I'm horrible at it, but I know I can commit to at least a bi weekly schedule. So in January, we have 3 Thursdays. So I guess you guys get to see me more often. So definitely be on the lookout for that. But that's enough of my yammering. Let's jump into this episode. Okay. What is a mental balance? Okay, so we know what balance is and we know what mental is. We know mental state, we know mental health, we know all these things that have to do with the two. However, when we combine it, it is basically the stability or the grounding of your mental state. You want to make sure that you have the opportunity to understand what you need to be mentally capable and stable. And we also need to know where we're trying to go within that mental state. So for me, my mental health is very big on, if I'm being honest, I need more self care. I need more time to myself. I need to allow myself to go through the motions, go through the different stages, instead of pushing them to the side for my more tangible dealings, my issues, my challenges. Things that are tangible seem to be more important to me than the things I can't see. Out of sight, out of mind. So, when it comes down to understanding a new mental balance, this is where these two parts come in handy. We really want to know where we are and where we're going. So, some people may not have this issue, some people may not have things that they need to fix, and that's fine. But as we all know, everyone has something they need to fix, whether it's small or big. Our goal is to make sure we are always reflective. Being self reflective comes in handy when we are trying to do things like this. Something that me and my husband actually had a conversation about yesterday was the differences with men and women when it comes to change. And I can only speak for myself, I can only speak for people that I've had conversations with. But a big thing with that has been that I've noticed is that when it comes to women, we have a hard time adjusting. We have a hard time taking on new challenges because, in my opinion, it's based in our emotions. If our emotions are constantly changing, our desire to change is constantly changing. But for men, they have no choice. They have to jump in, they have to face this world and do the things necessary to be great, to adjust to the world around them. So, yeah, they may have emotions, but they're more capable of putting those emotions to the side and making logical decisions to change for the betterment of themselves. But with me, I can personally say that I have no desire to change if I'm not emotionally invested. And of course, this is not always good. This is really a detriment, especially when I'm looking at these opportunities to be great or to be better, to be able to communicate better, to have a better health and diet, to build relationships, all these things, because my emotions are not in it. So, understanding my mental balance, those are the two things that I would suggest starting with. Where are you at? Where is your mental state? And you know what? I might be extra and make you guys a chart. Don't hold me to that, but I might put it in the description box. So definitely look there first. But you need to understand what level you're at. Are you at the bottom? Do you really need to just reset? Are you in the middle where you need to understand, okay, this is just a habit. It's something that I need to tweak. It may not be as bad now, but it can grow. Small things can always get bigger. Okay, so maybe you're there, you're at the middle, maybe you're at the top. And you don't have many big things. Maybe you have, a great foundation. You understand yourself. You have your routines in place. But you know that there's some things that you may be able to adjust in order to be better in maintaining your mental state. There's always 3 levels. And then when we're talking about the other side, where are you trying to go? What does that look like? Big or small? What is it, right? I came across this picture that was pretty interesting to me. It was talking about tasks, projects, goals, and then the mission. And I thought it was fascinating because a lot of the times we look at tasks. If you're a planner, you'll look at the goals And if you're really in tune, you'll look at the mission. But we don't think about the projects, but we definitely don't think about them all together. A lot of the times we have this mission and that's a part of our goal list, or we have this task and that's a part of our mission list. They're always intertwined, but they're never in order. So I thought it would be kind of fascinating to base this episode on that. How are we able to identify that mental balance in order to do it in a way that is actually effective? Okay, so those are my thoughts. Now, assessing where you are. This is always the hardest part because, again, it goes into self reflection. I am not an expert. Everything I talk about is based on me and my experiences. It is based on me trying to figure it out. It is based on me gathering all this information for an episode to come back to you guys. I'm not an expert. I will Google everything before I come to you. I will do my best to ask questions, but you're always inclined to speak to me. Tell me what you think. You are more than welcome. My door is always open. My comments are always open. Tell me what you think. Okay? Follow me. So, when it comes to assessing where you are, you want to, for me, okay? For me, I look at my environment, I look at my support system, I look at my personal health. This could be physical, emotional, um, spiritual, every version of myself. Where am I at? And then I also want to add in those tangible things because for me, that's what's important. I am constantly distracted by the tangible. So instead of trying to remove them or ignore them, how can I make them work for me and my mental goal? Okay, so let's see if we remember environment, support system, personal health, and then our tangibles. Okay, so those are the four that I would say are very important when it comes to assessing where you are. Let's figure out why. Okay, so with our environment, we need to be able to ask ourselves what in the room, what in my space, what around me makes me feel good or bad. Okay, things have power, have energy, have feelings, have some type of connection to you. There are hoarders that keep stuff because they feel like it's an emotional tie. There's something that they don't want to let go. There are people that are constantly throwing away stuff. I don't know if there's a word for that, but there's people that are constantly getting rid of stuff. And it's mainly because they may be feeling some type of clutter or confinement. They need to get rid of things, they need to just completely remove that energy. But what we can understand about that is you can have too much and you can have too little. So finding that balance. For me, when it comes to my environments, I love color. I love comfort. I love to feel like I can be effective in my space. My office is constantly changing all the time. But I will say that I have my periods where I want to be a hoarder, where I don't want to get rid of anything because in my mind, I can use it. I don't know what goal is going to come up. I don't know what project I'm going to want to do. So why get rid of this thing that could be useful to me? And then later I'm like, you're not useful, get out, And that's something that my husband actually pointed out to me. If it's not useful, it must go. And it's crazy, loop back around to support system, but that is something that I do with every piece of my assessment that we'll discuss. So, when it comes to your space, you want to really focus on what type of feelings do you emote when you are in that space? Are you productive in your office? Are you comfortable in your living room? Do you feel a sense of release when you're in your bedroom? These different spaces have different purposes. Now, everyone's is different, right? For some people, their work area is their bedroom because that is where they feel the most effective, they're most creative. I used to be that one, but I really had to get my stuff out of my room. But that is your moment to really identify, okay, what do I need to make every space in my environment the best for me so I can be productive this year? Okay. Next, we're going to go to support system. Your support system is so important. It is so, so important. And the reason that is because a lot of the times we can't do everything on our own. We don't have all the knowledge, we don't have all the experiences. So we find people that can, right? We know the cliche where we have those women or men around us that tell us what we want to hear. They support our goal. Our goal is to feel better about the decisions we've made. So we surround ourselves with people that are yes men, that always butter you up when you need it. Most of the times we look crazy because then those are the same friends that we have to let go of immediately when we're ready to change, when we're ready to develop and adjust our environments, adjust our behaviors. So, when we're thinking about these things, we want to make sure that we understand exactly that. Who is in your support system? Who is in your circle? Who are those people that you know are going to benefit your goals for your mental balance? Now, a lot of us have different people for different things, right? You have your business friends, you have your acquaintances, you have your going out friends that you know are always going to turn up with you. You have your family, you have your spouse, you have your cousins that I don't know, you share memories with. You have all these people for different things. But who are your, let's say 3? Who are your top 3 that can be everything? That is able to really provide that sense of balance. Because I've found that when we're stretched too thin, when we exert all of our energy to different things, we don't have the opportunity to recenter, to stabilize all these thoughts, to stabilize all these movements and thoughts and establishments of yourself in one spot. Right? If your mind is constantly going crazy, if it's constantly thinking about different things, what brings you back? So, your support system is going to be huge for that. I found that for me, it wasn't the people that would be the first people on most people's list. Mine were people that I had to meet. It was people that I had to get to know. It were people that I needed for different phases of my life that actually turned out to have the skills and the personality traits that I needed to be balanced. And those people are for me to know. But again, it's very important for you to understand you may not go to those small people for everything, but you know if you need them for everything, that they're able to take on those different roles, right? They can be interchangeable. They're able to wear different hats. That's a better way to describe them. They can wear different hats. Still, if you have the opportunity to keep them separate, because we all have our work friends and we don't want to um, run our other friends with the things that we have going on. However, it's something about that centering, it's something about that balance, it's something about that homing beacon that just changes everything because you know at the end of the day, you're not worried about whether or not that relationship over there is going to end and just crumble your entire communication system. You always have that place to go home to. Corny, but it works. Okay? Moving into your personal health. Like I mentioned, I am big on needing more self care. That is where I'm working. That is the thing that I know I need help with. However, the thing about our personal health that we tend to ignore are the signs. How do you know? How do you know that your personal health is not where it needs to be? Because they're all connected. Your mental health is connected to your physical health. Your physical health is connected to your spiritual health. All these things play a part with one another. So for me, I actually recently shared this. I am experiencing alopecia. I have always known it. You know those things you ignore. For me, at first, I thought it was just balding because I would change my hair all the time. But things are a little different. So that's my first one. When I'm stressed out, my lymph nodes swell. When I am tired, I get like a pulsing pain in the back of my head because I'm doing too much. I'm overexerting myself. All of these things are physical. However, they have to do with my mental, emotional, and spiritual self because I am not allowing those other components of myself release. If my physical is constantly going, 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 there is no way for me to stop and feel everything else going in the body that supports the physical activity. So that can be one way that you assess yourself, grounding yourself in the moment to realize what's happening around you. Okay, that's one. Something else I would focus on still has to do with your body because we're still being reflective. I would say look at those relationships. When we mentioned our support system, who are you surrounding yourself with and why? Obviously, removing those people you support yourself with is one step. However, identifying why and being reflective in that state supports your mental and your personal health. Because a lot of the times we, again, are surrounding ourselves with people that are like minded in the moment. We may want the more rowdy person to support our reckless behavior. We may want that more quiet person so we don't have to take risks in our business life or in our personal life. We don't want to go out and make new friends and do different things. We may continuously be around people that have no desire to be healthy because we want it to be okay. We want to feel comfortable in our skin, to feel comfortable in the behaviors we're doing, because we're just not in a position to change. So, when we're being reflective on ourself with our personal health, that is something that you can use to assess where you are. The last one was going to be our tangible items, right? And those are four. Yep, our tangible items. I am very materialistic. It's just a fact. Even with my alopecia situation, stress, and tension, all these things, I am still very insecure. So, how do I fix it? If I'm sad, if I am angry, if I'm going through some change in my emotions, I am the type to shop. That is my truth. Hello, I am Jaysa, and I am a shopaholic. Yep, that's where I'm at. But that is my thing. And recently I bought a wig. I did. I went for a couple weeks with my hair out, with it cut off, and just doing my best, y'all. I really did. But it's not, I can't do it. So I think something that I've been learning and that I talk about a lot on my channel is transparency, being honest, being true to yourself. And truly, I can't do it. And it's okay. And that's okay. I think a lot of the times when we have these conversations and we open our door to these feelings, we think that because we're making this change for ourselves or we're identifying a problem, that we have to do it the way that everyone else would do it, or the way that society is saying, or people, fuck society, the way people think it should be done. But in the flip of that, those same people wouldn't do it because we all don't feel comfortable in that state. It's just the truth. So I did. I got a wig. I went all the way and I cut off all my hair. I will probably not show you. Um, and I haven't got bald yet. I haven't got that low, but y'all, it's pretty low. It's like the level before the level. But I did it because transparency moment, random thought. My scalp, it is very tender, and those spots, once I shaved it off, I'm seeing the places where the growth is not growing. I have balding spots around my edges and even at the very nape of my neck. So that's been really interesting. For the longest, when I had hair, you can hide it, slick them things down and just cover it. But after a while, you do wonder, like, why isn't it growing? So that was like my first step into asking, if I shave off all my hair, is my hair gonna grow back? Is that gonna help stimulate the follicles? Something. And for the first couple weeks, everything else was growing back. But when you start to have a receding hairline, you're like, oh my gosh, okay, what do I need to do to fix this? So shave it all off. I'm gonna find me a dermatologist and go from there. Those are the steps. But until I get to that point of regaining my confidence and feeling as though I don't need some type of approval or validation to just go through my journey, me and Darcy, that's my hair's name, y'all. Me and Darcy are going to cover up with a wig and my scarves and just continue to be me. That's me. I love my hair. My hair is my identity. Oh, all of that to say, when it comes down to it, if pieces of my journey are not useful to me, they do not fuel my personality, they don't fuel my value, they must go. And to tie in what I mentioned earlier that I almost forgot, when it comes to my environment, The things in it, if they're not useful, they must go. When it comes to the people that I constantly surround myself with, and this is may sound bad, but if they are not useful, if they do not put up some type of commitment to adding to one another's value, they must go. And this is in the most kind way possible, but if I'm being authentic, I do not like to surround myself with people that use me, because I may say that you have to be useful to be in my space, but I don't mean in the way of bringing me money or opportunity, but I mean friendship, the real traditional understanding of friendship, being someone that I know I can call on and I can support in return, that I don't have to give in order to get, that is there in a genuine checkup, making sure you're okay. If you are not useful in the traditional, genuine sense of the word, you must go. No one in any predicament has a space to constantly wonder what that person is here for. What are your intentions? I don't need you to listen to my drama to find a way to make it useful for you later. It all needs to flow. So that's what I mean by being useful. When it comes down to my personal self, right? Is me eating another piece of pie useful to my journey? Probably not. Am I going to get rid of it? Not today, because y'all, I mastered my sweet potato pie and it is downstairs. So I'm going to eat it and then I'll get rid of it. Then I'll try again. But a lot of the times when it comes to my health in that regard, of the diet and exercise, a lot of the times it's because I'm not motivated. I have to get out of that. I find excuses in being tired or taking care of my child or trying to balance everything else that's on the plate. But a lot of times, y'all, we just have to jump and do it. Nevertheless, going back to tangible. Our tangible items, for me, this is the one that can be interchangeable for you. What is something that you found that you cannot get rid of no matter what? It may be your support system, it may be certain people in your life, but this is the one where you need to make it work for you. Okay, so regardless of what your tangible is, this part of it is to make sure that it's working for you. My things, right? So, me buying a wig, yes, I need it for me because it makes me feel good about myself. It makes me sink into the experience. But the way I will make it work for my mental balance journey is removing it when it's not necessary, making sure that it is not on a part of my hairline that I need to grow, making sure I am catering to my hair in the in between times, making sure that it is routine to not just get some cheap wig that's going to dig into my scalp because that lace is thick as hell. Making sure that I am taking my vitamins, making sure that I am cleaning the wig appropriately so it is not, again, causing more irritation on the same scalp I am trying to redeem. Something else, I love stationery. I do. Do I need any more? No, I don't. But I love it. I love stationery. How do I make it work for me? I make sure that I am making sure that I am buying things that support my business, that support me as a mother, as a wife. It may not be big changes, but they're enough, right? I may want a whiteboard. Do I need another one for my office? Probably not. Could I use it in my kitchen for all of my to-do lists, my kitchen things? Yes. However, the balance comes in where I need to make sure it can be useful. Do I need it? How will this benefit my journey? Y'all, those are my things, okay? So we talked about our environment, our support system, personal health, and then our tangible items, right? Or our make work for you items. And a lot of the times we stop there. We stop at identifying. We stop at trying to figure out what needs to be changed, right? So this goes back to our picture. So we have our tasks. We know our tasks. We have our projects. Those are the things that may be like, best example, okay? Our task, vacuum, vacuum our room. The project, clean the bedroom. Our goal, spring clean, right? Our mission, get our house in a position to where we can be effective for the full month. Okay. I might have dropped the mission ball a little bit, but you understand the idea. They all should feed onto one another. What is our big goal? Well, my goal is to have my house in a position for where I can use it. I can be effective. It can be an efficient machine that gets me through this month, that allows me to make sure that there are no hitches in my plans that I didn't see coming. Right? Okay, cool. What's your goal? Well, my goal this week is to get that spring cleaning done because the first is coming up. I need to make sure the house is at least clear so I can do that thing. Okay, cool. What's your first project? Cleaning this damn room because I have so much going on. This is my main project right here. I need to focus on this room. Okay, what's a task within that big project? Vacuuming because my child's goldfish are everywhere. Okay, that is your flow of execution. So when we're thinking about our new mental balance, that is big. What are your tasks? What are your missions? What is your goal? What are the things that you really need to conquer in order to be effective this year? And I would suggest doing it on a month to month basis. Please do not try and figure out your entire year, because we try to figure out like this overall thing. We try to plan so far in advance that we don't leave room for new opportunities. We don't leave room for amazing miracles or things that may come into play. And then we're trying to adjust. Oh my gosh, we're scrambling because this new thing came in. No, month to month. Leave it spicy, leave it open, make it a thing to where you can enjoy it and you're not looking for a way to adjust it. Okay, so I challenge you to start with who you are, where you are mentally, what do you need, how would you like to change, and then what does it look like, right? So we talked about that first part. Where are you? What mental changes do you need to address? Where are you trying to go? Who do you want to be? How do you need to adjust, right? Break it down. How do you assess yourself? Where do you need to start within yourself to answer that first step? Because if you can't figure out that self reflection portion, you can't even think about where you're trying to go so that new balance can be cultivated. No problem. Start with assessing yourself, assess your environment, assess the people in your support system, assess your personal health, assess your personal health. Assess the tangible things or the things that you cannot live without, your non negotiables. Assess that group. Okay? Once you can do that, you have your full assessment, you know who you are and what you need to change. Then you can walk into your new mental health and realize what that is going to look like in this new year. So I challenge you to get your mission together, get your goals, projects, and tasks for this new year. Make sure that you continue to keep up with these videos because all January long, we'll be talking about lifestyle. But we will not be here for long. Okay, you can always replay the video whenever you decide to start on that. But January is when we are planting our seeds, right? I came across this video a long time ago that talked about self resolutions. And they were like, why do you guys start resolutions in January when spring is when things flourish? Well, of course, I jumped on it. I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so true. We try to do these resolutions in January and spring is here. Yeah, we plant seeds sometimes in winter because some plants, but we plant seeds in winter so it allows them to set their roots, get their habits, figure out what water they're going to need, how much sunlight, get comfortable in the blankets. They do all these things during winter so when spring comes, they can bloom. What seeds are you trying to plant in January? January is winter. What are you planting now? What did you plant in December? What list did you put together in December when you said, okay, come January, come 2025, this is what I plan to do? What seeds did you plant? So when spring comes around, they can bloom, they can flourish. This is your time of reflection. This is your time to figure out, okay, now I don't like those plants. I don't like the way those looked. I don't like the way that turned out. How can you make it to where you are ready? You still have springtime to plant some new things. You have springtime to dig those out and start again. You have this time to do that. Why would you wait until the middle of the year to start? This is your time. So by summer, everything is laid out. You're ready. You know, you look great. You are in the routines. You have maintained. You have figured it out. You're in the groove. You're a well oiled machine. So by fall, it is your time to pack everything up. It's your time to enjoy that moment, that bliss revelation of everything you've done. So winter comes again, baby. You're not replanting those same seeds. You're not planting the same resolutions of losing that mama weight. You are moving on with new and bigger things. So those are my lovely advice pieces. Um, this year, I will be working on plenty of things. I will be jumping into the habit of motherhood a little bit more. And I just mean like getting my son ready for a homeschooling phase that I want to do. Getting this diet together. I need to get this body back in my hands. Um, I really want to get through the full calendar for Audacity and not give up. And continuously building relationships of quality. So, those are my little things. I'm super excited for this year. Please, please, please make sure that you subscribe, turn on your notifications, like, share, comment. Again, check out our reintroduction video just so you get a little bit of information about our partner, Her Movement. We will be doing these videos all the time. We'll be cross posting. You'll see us together. Definitely in February, you will be able to meet the amazing partners of Her Movement. So I'm super excited to share that with you. But as of now, guys, thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy January. Happy balance setting and mental goal setting, y'all. Let's do this. I am your host, Jaysa, and this is Just Jaysa. Until next time, bye.